What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us on the bench today. I'm Ben. This is Tyler.
And this is Bench Time. We're just two guys who are on the bench when it comes to the starters like ESPN, Fox, or any of the other big dogs. So join us on the bench and let's talk a little bit of fantasy football today, eh? This is my absolute favorite, fantasy football. This is like a holiday for me. I wake up and I'm like, today's the day that I am a general manager of my own football team. And it is definitely the most obnoxious name that I'm going to think of. That's how it is. You've got to give your team the most insane name.
If you don't have something absolutely vulgar in your name, then I don't think you have. You lose at least 20% on the possibility to win that fantasy league.
Yeah.
At least.
If you don't have an aura going in with an awesome name, you're not going to win.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely so.
For example, Stephon Diggs won me a fantasy season, I think back in 2020, and my team name was Can You Diggs It?
Can You Diggs It? That's a good
one.
one.
And I won that year.
It's a good one.
So you got to have the dog's name in it.
I'll tell you what, I don't think I haven't won a fantasy league since probably Aaron Rodgers Packers, like 2016 maybe. But I know that probably my favorite name had to be whenever I had the Washington defense and I had Chase Young or
lock in, dude. All right, we'll see if it comes to him. He's gonna be laying in bed. He's gonna be like, I got it.
I like to chase young kids.
Hey yo,
that was the name.
Yeah, you should have just kept that one to yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely it's going. Yeah, let's put it away.
All right, let's get into our top quarterbacks. So we're gonna go from quarterbacks top 15 to running backs top 15 to our top 20 wide receivers. We'll go in depth on most of them, and then we'll throw in a couple little sleepers, busts, whatever. I mean, whatever comes to mind,
To be seen.
All right, so let's start with our quarterbacks. Now, this doesn't mean you should draft them in the first or second round. Please.
Do not.
Don't
do
There's
that.
people that'll draft quarterbacks in the first round. I get it. Okay. You got Patrick Mahomes chilling. You got CJ, Jalen Hurts. Just don't do it. There's way more value in other guys. Wait till the third round. Even if you see one going in the second, there's still going to be other dogs. Just don't freak out. Just get the value in with the running backs and wide receivers. Because me personally, I think it's going to be tough getting running backs in. Get those guys in early.
I agree. I think running backs is going to be probably the hardest position to keep healthy on your team and keep productive on your team all season long. So
we'll touch into it later, but just wanted to kind of throw that reminder in there.
Yep.
But this is going to be controversial. Keep this in mind. But
it will be.
Number one, we've got Jalen Hurts. I think with a new offense and a very good offensive line, wide receiver core, especially with his tight ends, and throwing his rushing stats, I think we're going to see Jalen Hurts, not last year, but the year before. I think it's going to be a good year for Jalen Hurts. And, I think it's just going to be a good year for him. A lot of people are high on the Eagles, so...
Yeah, I agree. And I think even with the addition of Saquon Barkley in the backfield, I think that's really going to help Jalen Hurts open up some play action, do something. I think it's really going to help the passing game there, especially with them bringing in, I believe they brought in Kellen Moore to be offensive coordinator there. Yeah. So, I think it's going to be good for
the Cowboys. They scored a lot of points last year.
Yes, they did.
Next, we got the Patrick Mahomes, the Mr. Behind the arm throwing, the left arm throwing, the half swinging / bringing horizontal throwing. We can keep her rolling, but anyways, obviously Mahomes. I wanted him to be first, but it's tough. The top three any of them can go before. It doesn't really matter.
This is a bipartisan right here, where we decided not to take Mahomes one. Even though we have a Chiefs fan in the studio. So that's how it's going to be. There's going two there, and that's how it's going to be.
Didn't need people saying, "Oh, of
course the Chiefs fan take Mahomes number one." Yeah,
of course I will. But come on, we got to just tone her down just a little bit. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
we're on cloud 76 right now. Let's get down to like 20.
Let's drop it down. Drop it down. A couple notches.
Couple notches.
But
So yeah, anyways, wide receiver core. We went from nothing to something.
Yeah.
We touched on that a couple episodes ago.
Schedule's not too hard. It's a decently average schedule. They're gonna have their tough games, which anyone in the first place division is gonna always have tough games. But
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, and the
gonna be tough.
O line definitely with the left tackle that they brought in. Hopefully, Sumatia.
Kingsley Sumatia.
Yes, and
I
that
think I still butchered that.
but I think
With the name Kingsley, game over.
yeah, I mean, you can't do nothing with the word Kingsley. I mean, that's a dog.
Anyways, let's move on. CJ Stroud. They've got excuse me, fellow Lions fan coming through.
Lions fan crossing.
Trossing. We've got a Lions fan trossing. He's a Lions fan because for some reason when the Lions are playing, he's locked in on the TV. Can't help it. Can't do nothing about it. Maybe it's a god to him.
And I mean,
He's like,
the Detroit Lions
I'm being called
super
upon.
the super fan of the Lions. His name is Theo, and just so happens that the cat's name is Theo. This is a
Is there a connection?
this is not a coincidence at all. This is truth. This is value. This is Theo.
And he's about to be tweaking. And he's about to destroy things. But I've got the Wallach on hand.
Get
The Wallach. I want to shoot. Okay. We're good. Anyways, sorry for that. We'll speed that up. That'll be a fun little.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, wide receivers. They got 3 wide receiver ones. Sprinkle in a little Dalton Schultz in there.
Little John Mechie as well, too. Solid preseason outing from him so far.
Yeah.
This is they gave every piece possible for offense for CJ Stroud to perform at a high level this season. And I think this is very possible that he could even rise up to 1, just depending on how well he plays this year. It's gonna be tough with Diggs. The Diggs effect, it's real. That Diggs effect is real.
Diggs effect is real.
So let's hope.
Shout out me winning. All right, here we go. At 4, a little sleeper here. Anthony Richardson. We all saw his stats the first 2 or 3 games. I don't remember. Insane.
Yep.
He's got the rushing stats there. He's got 3 decent wide receivers now with Josh Downs,
Michael Pittman,
and Donnie Mitchell.
Yeah, that's a solid
I think
3.
he's going to be a really good wide receiver.
Yep. They also got that O-line still. They still got Quentin Nelson on that O-line. That O-line just needs to protect Richardson. Richardson needs to be smart running the football, get down when you need to. Other than that, they got a really easy schedule.
I think we might see kind of a Ravens type offense where you got a lot of play action, rollouts, motions. People are going to be flying everywhere.
I think so too. A lot of motion. I think Shane Steichen. I think he's really going to bring this Eagles offense
people going
to
everywhere.
life with the Colts. I think
Threw a little Nick Sirianni planting the seeds there. Was that the tree you were thinking?
That was the growth. That was the growth of the tree.
The growth. I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
It could have been LeBron throwing up. You never know.
Bring up a LeBron every episode. This isn't ESPN, guys. I'm sorry. Moving on. Lamar Jackson.
Lamar.
It's Lamar Jackson, MVP.
It's not
his rush stats, easy schedule.
Yep.
The only thing is the O-line isn't as good as what it used to be.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's nice to have that run feature with Derrick Henry back there. I think that's really what boosts Lamar Jackson up in this 5th spot is that complementary football game that they were lacking with a injured J.K. Dobbins, in that backfield. Their backfield just always seems like it was rotating guys. So
yeah.
I think Lamar Jackson's set to have a very good year, especially on the ground. I think him and Derrick Henry, a lot of read option type shit. It's going to be crazy.
Breaking news, Lamar Jackson will be Lamar Jackson. All right, next at 6, we got Joe Burrow.
Pretty obvious.
7, Tua.
Pretty obvious.
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
That I just lost 3 HP trying to say his last name, dude. That was tough. When you got Tyreek there, you're gonna look pretty good. 8, we got Jordan Love here.
Jordan Love. And you know what? I like this spot at 8 because he doesn't necessarily have the rushing stats, and I know he can really get out of the pocket well, and he likes to deliver the throws out of the pocket. He's not going to really take off on you much. They sprinkle that in every once in a while, but I really do love this wide receiver core, and I know I expressed that in the NFC Edition video. Go check that out. But other than that, this wide receiver core, I think he's going to have so many options, so many good matchups on the field. I think the passing stats are going to be even better than what we saw in his first starting year.
I think you and I have the same level of excitement towards our wide receiver core.
I mean,
it is.
We both feel
We've
deep.
got dogs everywhere.
We do have
simmer
dogs.
down over there,
We have many pooches on deck at
many
wide
pooches,
receiver.
many chihuahuas. Yeah, Jordan Love. I think it's a sneaky good pick. I mean, when you got all those guys, a little Luke Musgrave.
Musgrave. Luke just put you in the grave. A little Tyler Kraft, a little
A little
Kraft
mac
and
and cheese
cheese.
in there.
Kraft and cheese, mac and cheese. You know how he pleases.
Unfortunately,
if you
that's a
guys
bar.
don't have any sort of cheese name related to the cheese heads,
It would be
you're
a
not going to
sin.
make the playoffs. So, understandably, you guys have Tyler Kraft.
This reminds me of the long snapper. There's a guy with the last name Cheeseman. It's a long snapper. Man, I wanted him so bad because I was like, it just makes sense to have a guy named Cheeseman on the
Yeah.
team. But
All right. So then next at number 9 we have Kyler Murray. Like we said in our NFC video with the Cardinals, they're going to be a sneaky team. I mean,
this is our
their wide
sleeper.
receiver core isn't bad. Michael Wilson, he cooked last year.
Trey McBride,
Yeah,
also
their
a great
end,
dog
he's going to
there.
be a top 5 probably.
Greg Dortch.
And then of course Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, and then you still got James Conner, and then I mean, I think this team is going to find a playoff berth this
The
year.
O line, of course, not that good, but I mean, if everyone can stay healthy, Kyler Murray could be skirting around everywhere.
With Harrison's route running, I think that's going to allow him to stack easy completions quick, little out routes, something simple.
Some screens.
Just get the offense moving. You don't need that good of an O line if we can balance it with a good scheme.
Right.
So I agree.
Next we got Jaden Daniels.
Yes,
This
Jaden
is
Daniels.
Now, before everyone comes at me, you got Caleb Williams. You're gonna take Jaden Daniels. Our last video, we have Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year.
Yep. And I think it's going to hold true. I think this guy is going to be phenomenal with the air and the sea. This man's going to run. This man's going to pass, and he's going to put up the stats to prove it on either side. And I think it's going to be a really good year.
And then when it comes to Caleb Williams, the Bears, they like to treat their quarterbacks how they want them to be. Like Caleb Williams, are they really going to have him running around everywhere like Justin Fields should have been?
Yeah.
No, they're going to try to make him a little pocket passer.
Uh-huh.
They both have good wide receivers on the outside. Bears have better wide receivers, but I just think Jaden Daniels' rushing stats is just going to carry that edge when it comes to fantasy because in PPR leagues, of course, no one is playing standard. The rushing stats when it comes to quarterback that's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's where you want it. And
exactly.
I just think Jaden Daniels is really going to put that little edge when it comes to Caleb Williams.
I agree. He's going to put that best of both worlds and really show that he's good enough to be the Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah. But right after that, we have Caleb Williams.
We do have Caleb Williams there. And
then following from him, we have Josh Allen.
Yep.
But
this one is a big fall and compared to last year, but I mean, with the room that he's got to work with, it's really self-explanatory. 12 seems like a decent number for Josh Allen. Yeah, he's going to be on the ground running a lot more, but is he going to really make those really tough throws and make sure that whoever rookie wide receivers there is going to make the catch? I mean, it's going to be tough for the Bills this year, especially in the air.
So. I'm going to be real. He's only at 12 because I felt bad lowering him even more. I'm like, God, but it's Josh Allen. Like, I can't do this to him. But, I mean, I don't know. We're going to list him in a bust category because it's just risky. I mean, people are going to be taking him with Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and whoever takes Josh Allen when you've got the other guys that we just mentioned, or people like Jared Goff, who we have after. I think he's going to be better
Yeah.
than Josh Allen.
I
But
I think that's actually really true here with Jared Goff at 13. I think you could definitely see a switch in those two guys pretty easily. And I mean, there's a couple guys under that list that even could make a little switch with Josh Allen. It just depends on how well Josh Allen can adjust to new receivers.
yeah, I mean, right under that, we got Trevor Lawrence. I think this is
Hmm.
the year where he's got to prove it. He got paid. And
They gave him weapons. They gave him Gabe Davis. I mean, he's got some weapons. That team should be good on offense, and there's no excuse
and
for
they
him not
looked
to
solid
perform.
before Kirk went out.
Hmm.
So
I agree.
we'll just see. And we're gonna finish that with Deshaun Watson. This is crazy here, but same situation. He's got to prove it. He's got Jerry Judy, Mari Cooper,
Let him
and
cook. Let him cook now.
Elijah Moore.
Elijah
Right? Yeah.
Moore, correct.
So he's got everyone there. Good O line, good schedule. This should be the year where you see some classic Deshaun Watson. I don't know. I don't even know about rushing stats, but sprinkle that in if you want. He could even go top 10. It's if we see old Deshaun Watson, look out.
Yeah,
But he's going to be falling in the draft. He may not even be drafted. But
I think that is very possible. And I mean, it's even weirder seeing who comes after Deshaun Watson here at 16. Dak Prescott. That's a big shock to a lot of people probably watching the video, not seeing him go in the top 5, top 6,
he's
7.
always just kind of been weird when it comes to fantasy.
He had a really
Last
good
year was
year.
probably the only year where it was like, okay, I'll have Dak Prescott on my
Exactly. Yeah.
team. But other than that, nah.
And then followed up there, you got Aaron Rodgers at 17. Off an injury, I think is really a big deal with him there. It's just making sure that he can stay healthy. Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield. I mean, we're looking at Will Levis coming in at a 20 spot. Will Levis he could be a little sleeper this
Yeah,
year.
he could. I mean, he's got some people out there. His completion percentage wasn't good, but everything else, if he can get that good, I mean, he'll be pretty decent. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Then after that, at 21, we have Matthew Stafford.
Which could shock some people here, but I mean, let's be real. This man is very injury prone, and there's no telling how long he's going to be on the football field.